P.O.E.M.S classic.
Change the name to Element. That's the new name I'm rocking with. Always be the original man, and that by nature. The reason we changed the name felt like there's a lot, the name Original Man identifies with a whole group of people. And so actually there's other artists who go by the Original Man, and that name itself, I didn't want to feel like I was just taking and saying I'm the original man. I am an original man, but there's a whole group of people that are original people. So, and then just felt like I had different music, new music. It was time to do something different. It was time for a change. And so looking up, playing with a different variety of names, putting different names together, and just when I looked, one day I was just thinking, looking at some words, writing actually, I came across the word element. And then when I seen it, I was like, element, like, it just sounded right. And when I looked at it, before I even looked it up in the dictionary to see what it meant, I played with it and I took the E off, had the L, and I was gonna spell it that way. And my name, you know, being that my name is Lamont, you know, my government name, it's so close to the spelling of my original name. So I was looking for a name that kind of identified that, yo, I'm getting back to the essence, getting back close to the earth. You know, I like to consider myself a humble person. You know, when you look at the word element, one of the meanings, natural, being in your natural sphere, natural activity, natural environment. I felt like my music, I do what comes natural to me. I don't follow a pattern that I see on TV or that I hear on the radio or try to make myself be something that I'm not. So I was like, I gotta get back to my element, because sometimes, you know, when you're doing music and you wanna please ears and different things like that, you might write something that is not necessarily reflective of you as an artist or as a person. So I was like, this is my lane, being natural, being true to myself. So element just seemed to flow. And then also it identifies a group of people who are kind of away from the rest of the people, you know, like a group of people who are kind of looked on with disapproval. So I felt like me being as an artist, like, I'm strange in myself because I'm always to myself, so people can consider you like a weird person. So I said, you know, element also identifies with me in that aspect, because I speak for people who are not trying to be this or that, be what they see on TV or radio. So I'm just like I'm that weird kid or that weird individual or human being that's looked on as strange. So element definitely. And then when you think about the earth, you know, the natural earth, wind, fire, water, all these things, I wanted something that identified with the earth, like felt something that's just humble, gets you back to the essence. And so element to me really defines that. You know, I think it kind of defines me as an individual. The name of the new album project that we're working on is called Dope, and it stands for Dialects Overdosing People's Ears. And so I got a track on there called Dope, and that's where the name of the project came from, you know, because I feel like I'm dope as an artist, but I also want to come up with something, an acronym that represented the people. When you look at hip hop, music in general, it's a dialect, you know. It's a different way to express ourselves through the English language. And so definitely a dialect that's common among from the suburbs to the urban areas. And so dialects, I just see it overdosing people's ears when I get on the stage. That's how I rock. I just feel like I want to be dope, you know, be the dopest artist I can be. And so that's the best way I can explain it. The whole project is produced by my man Chuck Means. He did all the beats, arrangements for it. And so it's an EP. Gonna drop it around December, the second week of December. We got the video coming. One man, Matt Chapman, produced the video for Dope. It'll be coming at the end of November. So this project is just another piece in my life, in my stages of life development that I'm giving the people. And I think they'll really enjoy the album. We've been rocking these different tracks at shows and people really been feeling it. So a lot of people been asking me, when can I get the CD? Where can I get the music? So I'm really doing it for the people that really rock with me, giving them this EP, and then hope other people across the world feel the same way, because we put a lot into it, and the concepts that we put together, you know, they're really dope. It really does. And I hope that when people hear it, that the different, my dialect, my use of the language and the way I express myself, that it overdoses people's ears, And the concept, again, another part of it as itself, growing up with a family with parents on drugs, I always thought, like, how can I use the music? I always wanted to use the music as a way. I picture the music as a way for people who had addictions to, like, wean away from it. We called it rehab music in the beginning, so I always picture like people shooting music into their veins or putting words in a pipe and blowing on it, inhaling a metaphor and then exhaling something, like a poetic score or something like that. So I visualize it that way, when I think about people smoking the crack, sniffing lines of coke, I think of them sniffing lines off the pages, So that concept of dope is just something that naturally comes with me, and then also as a lyricist, like I said, I feel like I'm dope. So expect for that during the second week of December. It should be coming out, that EP, for the people that's rocking with now Elements. So. The pattern that I was following at one time was what I used to drop the projects every year on my birthday, which is March 12th, so around that time is when we were expecting to have a full length. Since we did the P.O.E.M.S project, I've been doing a lot of, always writing, but we've been doing a lot of shows, a lot of local shows in the area, rocking stages, basically that. Just keeping it going with the shows, trying to build up the music scene here in the city where I'm at, and collabing with a wide range of artists in this area, trying to build up the scene so that people knew hip hop was going on in the area. So we've been doing a lot of shows over this past year. Who I really like to collaborate with right now, I really don't know. I'm open to whatever artist, any artist that's saying something, conscious artists, street artists, who is saying what they feel and keeping it real with themselves. So any artist I'm really open for collaboration with. I have my favorites. I don't want to say any names right now because it'd be a long list of names, because I respect a lot of artists and what they do. And those are the type of artists that I would like to collaborate, the ones that are being true to themselves and being true to their art. So. What I'm listening to right now, a variety of different genres. I switch between Anita Baker to the J Electronicas to, Kendrick Lamar's Ab Soul, a lot of underground artists like Jaziri X, Bob Marley. So Earth, Wind and Fire, I'm going between different genres. It's basically how my day is going, what I'm feeling, and that's what I choose to put in. So I go off what my thought process is, and then it usually clicks with some type of music or some type of artist, and I say, let me listen to this, and I pop it in. So that's basically what I'm listening to. The first hip hop tape that I bought was with my own money was Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet. That's the first one I got with my own money, was that tape. And I think also around that time I had got another one was MC Lyte, one of my favorite artists too. In retrospect, thinking those were the first ones I bought with my own money. The first tape I really had of mine was NWA, Straight Outta Compton, so I had that too. But again, with my own money was the P.E., Fear of a Black Planet, and MC Lyte. The first tape or song I heard that inspired me to want to actually rap myself. Again, like I used to listen to a lot of artists, the Eric B. and Rakim, Slick Ricks, different artists like that, and I just would go back and rehearse the lines that I seen them recite on like Yo MTV Raps. I play it back and then learn it. But when I got the Purple tape by Raekwon, that was like one of the ones that made me be like, it's time, I need to try to go ahead and start writing my own lyrics. And it was probably the Verbal Intercourse with Raekwon, Ghostface, and Nas. That was like my favorite joint, I memorized that, played it back. Like I played that Purple tape until it popped. So that was the one that made me say, I need to start writing, you know, and then that's when it probably inspired me the most. It's just a part of who I am, but also, you know, naturally listening to artists such as the artists that you name, it definitely, listening to them and being that they're so dope, you're gonna naturally pick up on things they say, the way they do it, but you're gonna wanna do it in your own original way. So I think by just watching hip hop evolve and listening to these artists, you naturally get different pieces of each one of the artists that you feel are the dopest, you know, just because they're the forefathers of this, of my generation, you know, those artists that you mentioned. So just kind of picked it up over time, you know, and put it with who I am as an individual, and then you get Element or Original Man as I was. The project was just special because my man, Boots of Soul down in Austin, you know, he's one of the guys been rocking with me since day one. He went through a selection of producers and he found on the internet a kid named Lennon. That's actually what he goes by. And the kid named Lennon had a beat tape, and you know, as soon as I listened to it, I was like, man, these beats, they sounded really good, and the sound sounded like something that I should be on. So we just, the songs already had titles, or the beats already had titles to them. So I kind of just followed that pattern, got the kid's permission, and then wrote the songs based on the name of the titles of the beats that he had. And so it just kind of flowed, and everything that I was going through at that time, you know, it made it easy for me to put my life, you know, what I was going through to the beats, and it just laid so perfectly. And it was real easy to put that project together. So it kind of just flowed, and then we put it out. People listened to it. They liked the concept, elevator music, because the way we spelled it, elevate, you know, or some people thought it was elevate or music, but we were looking at like, let's elevate your music, you know. So really got a good response to it. We had some good tracks on it, put some good videos together at that time, and like I said, the process was real smooth. It didn't take a long time to put together even. The things that inspire my writing is life, you know, and that's the type of artist I am, you know. Some people say conscious, but I just talk about real life. I talk about what's going on in my life. I talk about what I see in my environment, the people I deal with, what's going on in the world, and I just take all that and everything along with the way I grew up and what I've seen, and try to put that on paper and draw it with the pen, so that when people listen to it, they're able to feel like they're actually seeing the world through my eyes, or seeing the world through what I've been through, you know. So that's basically what inspires me, man. My life, the environment, the world, different things like that. So.